I'm not going to use any other line, but a one that's probably been seen and heard for the last 20 years probably is a little bit too much, because for me personally, it runs perfect. I would love it if we beat them. Love it. It's Manchester United away in the Cup, a game that I look out for, whether it's in the league, the Cup, a friendly game, a kickabout in the park. When we play these lot, it means a hell of a lot to me. Can we go down there, the 7,000 of us, and watch a very famous win at Old Trafford? We're going to talk about it on this video. The match preview's coming up, Newcastle fans, so do us a favour, if you're curious, and make sure you stick around. Welcome back to Black White Banter, you lovely, jubbly Newcastle fans. If you are a Newcastle fan watching this, I would assume that you are, because why the hell would you click on a Manchester United versus Newcastle match preview? If you're a Man United fan, you are not welcome here. I'm going to say that now. I do not want you to subscribe. I don't want you to hit the like. You can do one as politely as possible, and that is me being polite. But to all the Newcastle fans watching this, hello. Welcome to another video, and whack that likey loo right now. That goes a very long way, and whack that subscribe. I'm actually done, you might see in a lot of my match vlogs, some of my Black and White Banter merchandise. If anyone in the right mind wants to look the coolest kid in the playground, the coolest guy in the street, if you're struggling with the ladies, you know, maybe you're just lacking a bit of confidence, let me know. I do have a full website of merchandise, hoodies, beanie hats. And if you want something a little bit odd, I can get it requested. You know, you want some Black and White Banter curtains, let me know. So if anyone is actually interested in my merchandise, I get quite a lot of sales on Facebook. Let me know. I actually think my logo is pretty cool. So, it's Manchester United in the Cup. And as I said at the start of this video, I would love it if we beat them. Love it. Kevin Keegan made that very famous term over 20 years ago now. And it just hits the spot for me. It does. Everyone has a fixture they look out for, and anyone who's watched my videos on the regular knows that Man United is the one for me that will always stick out. I will put in the holidays, I will put in the miles to make sure I am at these matches in the hope that we can get one over on that awful lot. Now, everyone's got their own reasons for those big matches that stand out. Mine, just growing up, I never liked Man United. All the people around me at school and whatnot who supported Man United were just an awful bunch. I don't like how they feel so entitled. It's just a club I can't stand. I cannot stand them. And that's why tonight means a lot to me. Now, this game throws up lots of different conversations, lots of different debates. The main debate going into this one, and I've already heard it in my workplace, I've heard it circulated on socials, do we almost chuck this? Now, look, we know Eddie Howe is not going to chuck a match. Like, let's not exaggerate it to the point where I don't mean deliberately lose. But obviously what that means is, do we field a very, very weak team, bringing a lot of our academy players, which I talked about on our video, Eddie Howe clearly doesn't have much faith in. Do we draft some of them in and just gracefully give it a go, but not be as interested enough to put out a full-strength team or anywhere near a full-strength team with Champions League in mind and the Premier League? Now, for me, that debate gets squashed. And yes, that's my personal belief that it should be squashed, that opinion, because this game means a lot to me. But generally speaking, yes, I understand the argument that there's fatigue starting to kick in. We have a fixture pile up. But I'll be totally honest with you, and maybe I do sound a little bit old school. I take that with a little pinch of salt, but I don't think I do think it gets exaggerated a little bit. Now, our players played on Saturday. We did look a little bit fatigued. Some of these players, there's no rotation going on, which, again, we've talked about, and we'll brush on that in a second. They've played Dortmund on the Wednesday, Wolves on the Saturday, but then I look at this and I look at the recovery period. So Sunday, the players have probably had a day off, mental and physical, a break from everything. Monday, they come back into training, probably for a bit of light work. They sleeping well, they getting the food. Tuesday, that's when the bodies are probably starting to feel fully recovered. Probably a bit of light training again. Manchester United's a short trip on a bus on the Wednesday night, not till 8:15. And then even after that, Thursday to recover, Friday to recover, then Saturday's a 5:30 kick-off. Yes, I understand, and I'm not going to claim to know what it's like to be a footballer. I think, if anything, it's probably more of a mental struggle than a physical one because of the stress of performing every week. But from a physical point of view, and that's what most Newcastle fans are talking about, I understand fatigue is a problem, and that's why squad rotation is key. But I don't think we should be going to Man United in the Cup and almost playing a totally different 11. I don't. It doesn't wash with me. We've got a chance here to get into the quarterfinals of the Cup with the likes of Middlesbrough already through. Imagine us getting Port Vale at home in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup to then go into one game away from Wembley again. It's a really big opportunity. Man City have been knocked out because we did it, in case you'd forgot. We'd be knocking Man United out if we won on Wednesday. Liverpool you'd expect to get through. Chelsea you'd expect to get through. Arsenal you'd maybe expect to get through against West Ham, but that's a tricky one. But I don't necessarily fear any of them teams if we got them in St James's Park, because that's how good our Newcastle team is. And how amazing would a Wembley trip be? Because I don't know about anyone watching this video. That Wembley weekend was one of the greatest of my life. And that was when we didn't win the football match. I want to go back to Wembley as a fan of my beloved Newcastle and watch us lift something and go one further. So any talk about us almost chucking this game in at Old Trafford, I'm going to put my hate for Man United aside. No. And I really, really hope Eddie Howe doesn't play a ridiculously experimental team. I really don't. And this is going to be an unpopular opinion for anyone watching this video. I would probably take a win on Wednesday over a win on Dortmund on Tuesday. And I'm going to Dortmund. I cannot wait to get over to Germany. There'll be vlogs on that coming. But the way I look at Dortmund away is it's going to be an amazing couple of days regardless. German beers, German sausage, drinking in the stands. Exactly like Milan was, probably better. And we'll give it a good go, and we'll soak up the atmosphere, and we'll take it all in. But then we've still got Paris Saint-Germain away. We've still got Milan at home. The Champions League is not going to put us in the quarterfinals, semi-finals. And as a fan, I want Newcastle to win a cup more than anything. And if getting through on Wednesday gets us one step closer to the Carabao Cup final again, that's what I'm going to take. And that might be... Don't get me wrong, a win in Dortmund would be amazing. Can you imagine the scenes? That yellow wall comes tumbling down because the Geordies invade Germany and take the 3 points. Guten Tag. There'll be Guten Tags all around. The Steins will be getting smashed, to say the very least. Probably missed my flight home on the Wednesday, early hours of Wednesday. But this is getting close now to that final. You win tonight, you're 2 matches away. And I'm looking who's in it. That's why it's a big game for me now. Of course, would I rotate the squad for this one? Yes, of course I would. My starting lineup going into this, I'd keep Nick Pope in goal. I don't want Dubravka playing against the team he probably wishes he was still at in Man United. Livramento starts for me. Hall starts for me. Matt Targett starts for me. So I would go a back four of Targett, Livramento. I would play Paul Dummett because he played so well against Manchester City. Then I would maybe keep Lascelles in. Lascelles has been really, really solid. I would even maybe look to keep Fabian Schär in for that strong consistency at the back, that leadership at the back. One of those two with Dummett. Midfield, of course, Willock's going to get a start. We know he is. I'd be gobsmacked if he doesn't. I'm not looking to remove the full core of that midfield. I would play Bruno in this one, and I would like to hope Bruno is massively up as a Brazilian boy watching Man United growing up. He fancies this one as well. Cup revenge still in mind, even though we've already beaten Man United since. I would go Bruno. I would go Longstaff. Again, there's going to be calls for him to be rested, but I would keep him in. And then my third midfielder would probably be Joe Willock. And then I go a little bit further forward to that front three. I would go Anthony Gordon down the middle. Callum Wilson cannot play the games I was just talking about week in, week out. I don't think he can. On the left-hand side, this is where things get a little bit tricky with our squad rotation, don't they? And our injuries, and this is where injuries really, really start to show. Left-hand side of that three, would you be looking to go Joe Linton? Would you play Joe Linton a little bit deeper and play Joe Willock on the left? Would you play Hall? I think there's got to be an argument there to play Lewis Hall in the first three because we know he can play midfield and he's got that sweet left foot, and then maybe it's Joe Willock on the left. So I would go Bruno, Longstaff and Hall, and then I would go Willock, Gordon and Almiron, because Almiron's the sort of player he can deal with this sort of demand, in my opinion. He can. He's just built for it. We know he is. He grafts his arse off. I wouldn't be playing the likes of Matt Ritchie. I really, really wouldn't. I just think this is a game too much for him. He's not match sharp. It's impossible for him to be. He's a grafter. We know he's a passionate player. I just wouldn't be looking to bring those players in. Academy players, I'm not talking about them because Eddie Howe clearly has no faith, because that Wolves bench on Saturday, in my opinion, would have been stronger. Now, the opposition, they are in free fall. And I think Erik ten Hag will be looking at this match as a chance to get their season back on track a little bit. Against Crystal Palace, when they won 3-0 in the Cup in the third round, some of their fans were saying that's one of their best performances of the season because they played a lot of youngsters, the likes of Garnacho and whatnot. So I don't expect this to be the same Man United that's been in free fall. It'll probably be a more vibrant team with some of the youngsters they play. But why can't we, as long as Eddie Howe doesn't make a ridiculous amount of changes, go to Old Trafford with 7,000 Geordies, myself included, basically turning Old Trafford into St James's Park and bring back the points. Come on! Let's bring back the points. And then we go into that quarter-final. Jobs are good, and that's not for a while now. Any talk about us having to drop a game for the sake of the Champions League, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. And Newcastle fans, I want you to let me know in the comments what your thoughts are going into this one. More importantly, what team you would play. But are you like me? Do you want to see us sort of lose this? And I know nobody wants to see the team lose, but do you see the benefits in that, should I say? Because there's a strong argument here that this is a free hit. I've got no doubts about it. If I leave Old Trafford, I'll be fuming if we lose. But within 24 hours, it'll be forgotten. And there'll be lots of talk in the aftermath of, oh, well, that's probably a good thing. Is it shite? No one wants to go to Man United and lose. We want to be in all a Cup. We want to be getting a step closer to Wembley. That's what I'm all about. And whether the squad can deal with it or not, we need to keep rolling with the punches. We do. You know, get some of these players in. Get Livramento in. Get Hall in. Let's deal with what we've got. See what that throws at us. Maybe we might get another injury. You can't plan on that. You can't. We need to keep playing our football and keep that momentum going. Let us know your score predictions. Let us know your team lineups. And let us know whether this is a game that just doesn't interest you. I'm recording this on the day of the game, so I'm about to go and get a shit, a shower and a shave. Head over to Newcastle and get on the bus. There will be a match vlog coming. And yes, I am going to Germany next week. So if you haven't already, whack that likey Lou. Whack that subscribe. And let me know if you'd like any Black and White Banter merchandise. My prices are pretty fair, if I do say so myself. On Old Trafford we go, and my God, I'm going to say it one more time. I would love it if we beat them. Love it. How are you, lads?